going. Jesus Christ, this is like jacking off to oh God, the stream is started. Welcome to Cooking Videos with Dave 128. And it's pretty much pizza time. We'll have some good pizzas, then we'll have a cookie. But we'll start off with Sam, the cooking guy.
Today we're making my grandma's butter pecan rolls. The ones I grew up eating.
Okay. That looks fucking delicious.
Ones that make the house smell like everything's gonna be okay. We'd be down the hall, you'd hear the front door open, that familiar click of my grandmother's short heels coming down the hallway, and there she was, the giant sheet pan filled with these motherfucking amazing butter pecan rolls. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you are a cinnamon roll fan, you have these once, you'll be like, who gives a shit about cinnamon rolls with all that stupid gloppy white crap on top? Oh, I'm probably offending somebody. Do you like cinnamon rolls?
Yes.
I don't like them. I like these. These will become your replacement for those dumb cinnamon rolls. Everybody makes cinnamon rolls. You gotta have the cinnamon rolls. No, you gotta have my Grandma Ruth's butter pecan rolls. Is it a little bit of work? A tiny bit. What's the hardest part? Just waiting while they rise, that's it. Aside from that, you can totally do this. Okay, so totally do it. Just follow.
Do I gotta make cinnamon rolls from scratch, or can I use the one in the Pillsbury cans?
Long. We're gonna make the dough. It rises for an hour and a half or so. Then you roll it out, you spread some business on it, you get it in pans, put it in the oven, and Bob's your uncle, or Ruth's your grandma.
I did not need that image.
Here at Renewal by Andersen, we're homeowners too. We've been working very hard behind.
We begin with the yeast portion. That is a quarter
cup. Looks like we're making our cinnamon rolls. Shit.
Cup of warm water, and warm is between 110 and 120. Here's a packet of dry active yeast. Dump it on top, give it a little of this business, and let it sit for 5 minutes until it gets foamy. And while it does, we'll get the other things ready. And we'll start by scalding some milk. I know that sounds aggressive. We're gonna take a cup of milk, pour it into a little pot over medium heat, and this we're just gonna let sit until little tiny bubbles start to form. We want it ultimately about 180 degrees. You don't want it to boil, that's for damn sure. So this will take a couple minutes, just watch it. When you see a little steam, you know we're there. And then we're gonna take it off and continue. And not those bubbles, those happen from me pouring it in. You'll see. All right, you can see it's just starting to want to bubble, and little whiffs of smoke. We're there, let's take it off. Carry on. All right, in the bowl of a stand mixer, we will put our scalded milk, some butter, sugar.
That is one thing I hate doing. I fucking hate scalding milk because I hate cleaning the pan.
Recipes below, and we want the butter to melt and the sugar to dissolve a bit and cool to lukewarm. Give it a minute. And it's mixer time. The mixer comes in, this guy comes back, and we start to mix and slowly add our first cup of flour. There we go. Come on, you. Mix away. Now we'll add in our yeast that has bloomed beautifully. See that? It goes in. 1 beaten egg, and continue.
Dude, I will say this. If you actually do bloom yeast, it is the most hunger-inducing smell I've ever smelled.
And we have more flour to add, and we'll do that gradually. You're creating a nice, beautiful, soft dough. Take your time. We'll use this as an opportunity to put a little salt in, more flour. You just know that's the beginning of something way good. All right, it's lovely. Let's get this into a grease bowl, like that. Oh, hello, handsome. All right, here's what we do. We're gonna cover it with saran. You put this in a warm spot now until it doubles, 1.5 hours to 2 hours. I'm gonna put it in my oven. I'm gonna take an 8x8 pan and pour boiling water in the bottom of it, like about 1 inch, and let that sit in the oven with this. It's a small enclosed space. It'll keep it nice and warm. It will help it rise beautifully. Don't go away. Where are you gonna go? Of course you're gonna watch. You wanna see these things? Come on. I'll be back. Well, look, there you have it. It's beautiful.
So I still can't use the Pillsbury shit.
It's risen. It's been, I don't know, about an hour 45. We're going to deal with this in a second, but first let's just prep a couple things. We need some cinnamon sugar. That is not cinnamon sugar. That is sugar.
I don't. I make it very clear. I make it very clear that if they violate my rules, I just end the damn stream.
So to the sugar, we'll add some cinnamon, like.
If I was beta, I'd let them violate the rules and just keep warning them. I give maybe one warning, and then after that, I just shut it off.
This, put the lid back on. By the way, you'd be well advised to keep some of this in your pantry. It's amazing on butter.
Oh God, cinnamon sugar. Yeah, if you don't know how to make it, it's ungodly easy. And it is fucking phenomenal.
Toast in the morning. Okay, next are the pans they're cooking in. And here's what we've got.
Whatever. You're gonna believe whatever you want to believe. Because your leftist brain is cooked.
9x5s or whatever this. What is this thing? It's basically that.
Dude, remove the sticker before you put these in the goddamn oven.
Now, here's what we do. In each pan, we're going to put brown sugar like this and butter. A half a stick of butter in each, like this, like this, like this. And the same over here. And a tablespoon of light corn syrup. These guys are going to go on very low heat until they start to melt and combine. We'll come back to them. Now the dough. This comes off, come off, come off. Oh, love the smell. We punch it down, and that means you go. And then we're going to take it out. But let's put a little flour on the deck first. And then like this. All right. This I need to cut in half. So get it into a rough little block. And then if we think this is the halfway point, we'll deal with half at a time. So here's what we do. A little bit more flour. We want to roll this guy out to about a 12.
You know, as much as I love cooking, I hate the feeling of flour on my hands.
12 by 8-inch rectangle. A rolling pin gets a little extra flour, and away we go. You know, I sometimes feel that I have to rush, and I don't want to rush. I have to remind myself, Sammy, don't rush, boy, don't rush. If it ain't perfect, you're gonna be okay. Lovely. Now, remember our cinnamon sugar? First things first, we have some melted butter, and we will brush our friend with melted butter. And the melted butter is gonna help that cinnamon sugar stick. You can be generous with the butter because, well, they are called butter pecan rolls, and butter is going to play an important part. When you got this nicely layered up, I just shut my eyes and see my grandmother doing this in her little apartment. She was so happy to cook for people. I don't have her skills, but I do have her love of cooking for people. All right, remember this? Here's what we do. It's gonna look like a lot to you, but it's gonna be good to you as well. All right, almost there.
Roll it up
Great.
several times.
Now, the long side, we're gonna roll this baby up. We have to cut this. You could absolutely take a knife and do this. You can cut these into 8. But here's a better trick. See this? That's dental floss. We're going to use this to cut these. Now, if you want, you can give yourself little score marks. So you're going to end up with 8. So you'll see how nicely a cut you get from the dental floss, right? So you do this and you go.
Why wouldn't you just go
Bonjour,
with a
nous
knife
sommes ravis de vous accueillir de nouveau dans notre hôtel.
or a pastry cutter?
Votre chambre est prête pour votre séjour.
By the way, how the fuck is Reese Witherspoon still hot?
Oui.
Earn rewards wherever you book travel. The autograph.
I mean, she's like 50. This is beyond when women become useless.
Journey credit card from Wells Fargo. Terms apply.
Battleship sunk.
Like that. If you use a knife, I'll just maybe show you on this end, you can see it's going to start to compress it, and you don't want to do that.
Well, if I was gay, then none of you motherfucking leftists could ever attack me ever again, because I'd be a member of a protected class.
So just go along, get your little guy together, and boop. Perfect, okay? Keep going until you're done. Boop, boop. Ideally, you're not using Cool Burst dental floss. Try and go with plain. Great. I got 8, okay?
Or cinnamon.
Or cinnamon, yeah, don't do that. Okay, here you go. See this? That's our pan, obviously, with our melting butter, brown sugar, corn syrup. That's all you need. You don't need it any more than
Oh, you're right, because you'll treat gay people like shit if they don't agree with your stupid-ass political philosophy.
that. Try and get as evenly mixed as you can. And now a very important ingredient, pecans. Remember, they're pecan rolls. So you want about 3 ounces in each. Now, the question is, how anal do you want to be? You want to face them all down, or are they okay if some are on their backs? Max, you decide.
It's okay if some.
Okay, so let's put roughly
Stop
half
the
in
fucking
here.
pecans!
You just want as much of a single layer of them as you can get. I could tell you my grandmother would spend the time to make sure that A, there were no broken ones, and B, the ones that were here were all facing the right way. She didn't mess around. Now, these guys, we take and we put cut side down, okay? So what's gonna happen, these are going to rise a second time. And of course, some are gonna be taller than the other ones, and that's okay. You're gonna be fine here. So when you've got these guys in here, just like before, we're gonna cover these up. They're gonna go into a warm place for half an hour to rise a second time. Then we bake them, all right? I have the other ones to do. You can watch if you want. If not, you'll see these in about 30 minutes. Look at, they look like rolls, nothing great there, but here's what we're gonna do. How am I gonna do this? Baking sheet with a rack on top. Sandwich everything. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. And then this guy comes off. And then we keep our fingers crossed that we're living life the right way. And Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry for the swearing. Holy mother effing God.
What is this thing now on YouTube where nobody wants to fucking swear? Jesus fucking Christ, we're all adults, and I don't care. And if a kid is beyond the age of 8, he's heard every swear word in the book.
Look at this.
And by the way, you do know swear words change beyond with time and cultures. Call an Australian a dork, you're probably going to get punched in the face.
Look at you. They're ridiculous. And a man in my position can't be made to look ridiculous. So now you do this.
You already look ridiculous. All right, that's enough of that. All right, we're going to do the great big fat guy.
Tax expert at our new in-person locations. They can file your taxes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're cooking a date night dinner, spicy rigatoni, and it's gonna be banging. If you make it correct, you'll also hopefully be banging. Let's begin. On the stove, agua, salt it like the sea. Italian food is one of the
You don't have enough water, especially if you're making a pound of pasta.
hardest things to make because people are so about how it turns out. They're like, oh, you didn't salt the water. Oh, your pasta's overcooked. Oh, fuck you. I love you though. Your cuisine is quite good. It's just not that serious, okay?
I have to agree with him here. One of my biggest gripes with another YouTuber that I actually like, Vincenzo's Plate, he gets to be a real stickler of rules. There are no fucking rules in cooking. I will say, don't label it something then. Like cacio e pepe, that's like 3 ingredients. So, if you want to make cacio e, just make either call it something else or cacio e pepe with X, Y, and Z.
A little olive oil. Where's my oven pens, bro? The cleaners came, they moved everything everywhere. I found a pan in my
But I'm sorry, but carbonara has been interpreted so many ways. I mean, yes, there's the true blue recipe. But again, I live in Minnesota. Trying to find fucking guanciale, I would have a better shot of getting a three-way with Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter.
shower
And finally find out if she actually does the mommy-dommy thing.
yesterday. Love bread. You go to a dinner with a girl and they order a salad, what they really want is bread. They want appetizers, they want mozzarella sticks, they want pasta. They're just ordering a salad because you make them feel insecure. So you order it and offer them a bite because you're respectful. Slice it in an angle so you seem fancier than you are. Remember when I was on keto for like 2 weeks? It almost worked. I had a spiked lemonade
What a shock. A leftist doesn't understand a joke.
before this. Shit is working. I think it's like 10%, and I've lost about 20% of my brain function. Speaking of significant others, mine's here right now. Pan over to her. There she is, there she is. Redact it like the Epstein files. Smash that garlic like what you're trying to do later. Ice up a little garlic. Now, if you're worried about adding garlic to like a date night dinner, don't be. If she's already at your house for dinner, the last thing she's concerned about is your breath. Let's go ahead and add a little salt here. Use the back of the knife. Smash this down. In we go. A little parsley. All this garlic, dude. Hopefully something's sucking because no vampires will be near. Now, I know this meal is high in calories. The objective when making this is to hopefully do something after you eat it that burns calories. So it kind of cancels out. A little bit of butter. Also, if you make it in small pieces, girls are more inclined to eat more of it. If you put like one big piece of bread in front of them, they're gonna be like, I had one. But if you put like 50 pieces of bread, they lose count and don't feel disgusting as far as eating like 16 pieces of garlic bread in front of you. Into the oven we go. We're going in. We've got some Italian sausage.
He's not wrong, but my thing would be I just want that as an appetizer or something.
Nice and browned up.
Or just to go with the meat. Whatever, fuck.
Meat is not required for this. I just prefer meat because to me that makes it feel like a meal. Like if you gave me mac and cheese and said it was gonna be a meal, I'd be like, fuck you, this is a side dish. Kill me, sue me, do whatever you want. That's just my opinion. Let's dice an onion. All right, onions into the pan we go. Let's get some garlic in this bitch. That's what we're looking for. We want things to be charred up. If it's not charred up at all, you're not really dealing with what you want to be dealing with. Where's the can openers, man? My Whoop is saying I'm in the high stress zone because of how fucking messed up this place is. We're gonna need this later. Tomato paste going in. It's just like what Nona used
I will say, I go from like 0 to 500 miles an hour when I can't find something in my kitchen.
to make. Now you're gonna want to let that tomato paste cook out for a little bit. It's kind of like when you add make a roux, you want the flour to cook. It's the same way here. Otherwise your shit's gonna be too bitter and you don't want that, okay? You ain't playing with the clitter if your pasta's too bitter. You see this hat? We're drinking, baby. Hats are available on morecooking.com. We've got like 10 designs. We're adding more. We're making one tomorrow that says blessed with big tits. Oh, let's make this sauce have a little fun. Hats are available on morecooking.com. We've got like 10 designs. We're adding more. We're making one tomorrow that says blessed with big tits. Oh, let's make this sauce have a little fun. Splash of vodka. Fucking better remove some nail polish. Here's the secret, people. Buy whatever pasta looks the most expensive and your meal will be elevated. They even took the extra step to make it look like it still has a little flour dusted on it. That's better. Let's add a little cream, the heavy kind. This
Fuck it, whatever.
is where you get that beautiful orange color.
Again, I don't know if you said that in jest or said that to be entertaining, but I don't care how good your pasta is, what brand you buy. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And if you overcook it, you overcook it. I mean, ideally, if you really want to go the extra mile, make the pasta yourself.
Look at that. Oh my. Holy shit, people. I was on TV last week. The camera doesn't add 10. Doesn't add 10 pounds. It adds fucking 50. Oh my god, I look like a beluga whale on that motherfucker. Alright, what's happening? Why am I struggling?
What is this little clip?
Look at that. Oh my. Holy shit, people.
Oh, Next Level Chef. When was this motherfucker on Next Level Chef?
I was on TV last week. The camera doesn't add 10. Doesn't add 10 pounds. It adds fucking 50. Oh my god, I look like a beluga whale on that motherfucker. Alright.
No, it's just you're actually seeing yourself for the first time.
What's happening? Why am I struggling? This cheese is harder to get into than Epstein's cell. A little cheese. Oh yeah. Oh my. A little pasta water going in here. Thin it out just a little bit. Let's get this out. Let's check if these are al dente. Oh, perfect, perfect. Get our pasta in. Sound of love right here. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, oh. If you made this right, that's what you're going to be.
I have done that more than once. And it burns like hell.
Hearing later. What the fuck just happened? That was supposed to be aesthetic.
Well, you did drink like a quarter bottle of vodka while you were making this. Hey, no disrespect. I drink plenty of beer when I'm cooking.
Ended up being pathetic. Make it look healthy here. A little cheese, a little bit of our garlic bread, 3 and a 4th if you're into BBWs. Let's give this a nice little whirl here. I left that bread in the oven too long. I don't know if you're sleeping with someone, but you're definitely going to sleep after this. That's for damn sure. Thank you, love you, subscribe, hats are available.
Yeah, he's still a good dude. Although I swear to God, he was on another channel that had like over 1 million subscribers. Whatever, fuck it. I always hate it when I get the copycat channels that just download the damn videos and then repost it on their shit. Well, I suppose since it's a pizza video, we're going to start with the worst one. This is Cooking with Jack.
Ready, let's go. It's Cooking with Jack. Put on a tasty show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I think we got all our items out. Today we're doing another Supreme Pizza. It's a Philly cheesesteak Supreme Pizza. So come on close and I'll show you. Oh, by the way, I know some of you are watching this literally the day before Valentine's. You ever make a heart-shaped pizza? Basically roll out your pizza dough, cut the top into like a V.
You could also shape it into that, but you know, you do you.
Make a heart. Make her a pizza. She loves.
And no, I've never made a heart-shaped pizza because that's fucking stupid. My pizza are gonna be one of two shapes, either rectangles or circles.
Pizza. Maybe not this year. Keep that idea for next year. It's inexpensive. It shows you love her. Just an idea, all right? So, now...
You are aware that Jack is a garbage human being. If you actually research him, he's horrible. If he was a good man, I probably wouldn't keep commenting on his videos, but he's not.
Come in close.
And no, this has nothing to do with the fact that he's a Christian.
And I'll show you what we got. So first off, we got our dough. It's folded up. We're laying it before we unfold it. We're letting it get to room temperature. So I wanted...
All right, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually agree with Jack.
Do provolone and mozzarella. And then literally the store had a mix of provolone and mozzarella. Okay, we're going to be using...
All right, for pizza, you can use bag cheese. Lord knows I've probably done it in the past, but generally, if preferable, you should get a block of cheese.
Garlic infused olive oil
Fine with that. I
to
don't
brush the
give a
crust
rat's
before
about
we
that.
top it.
And nor do I care about
We're going to
this.
use hardcore carnivore black seasoning on the meat, on the pizza, everywhere. Okay.
Okay, so Philly cheesesteaks is basically very thinly chopped, sliced, whatever, ribeye. And it's smothered in meat, au jus, or meat that's been soaking in au jus, and then covered with peppers, onions, and provolone. And then put on a broiler and served. That works for a sandwich. Because the broiler only takes 10 seconds. You're talking about a pizza, which takes, even in cooks at a way higher temperature. All right, whatever.
Let's, we're going to first light the burner, get the pan hot, go to like a medium high. I'm grabbing, you can use butter, you can use all regular olive oil. I'm just using a garlic infused olive oil. So, pour a little bit on the pan so we can get it all hot. Now realize, if you like a lot of onions, I like onions, put a lot of onions. If you like a lot of bell pepper, put a lot of bell pepper. You like a lot of meat, I like a lot of meat, put a lot of meat. I'm using about a little over a pound of meat. But you literally can make it however you want.
I am somebody that, I should probably be the last person that says that, but a pound of meat on a pizza? On one pizza? I hope he's making multiples. But unfortunately, I have to go take a piss. I'll be right back. All right.
So, first thing we're going to do is heat up the oil.
All right.
And you know what? No, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to toss that in.
Okay, I don't want to be rude to Jack. Actually, I take that back. I don't give a fuck if I'm rude or not. Does he have to sit down now to cook?
You're basically going to toss your veggies in the onions and the bell peppers.
Great, I love great big chunks of veggies on my pizza, but whatever, fuck it.
And then saute that first in the oil. Get our trusted little spatula, get everything around. Start with a little bit of oil. If you feel like you need more, I don't think.
If you consider me telling people the truth, then fine, fuck it, I'm rude, and I don't really care.
So, but if you feel like you're gonna need more, add a little bit more. Okay.
You're saying you'd be fine with vegetables of this size on your pizza? I think not. You're just lying.
So now some of you may want to cook the meat first. Remember, it's going in the oven as a pizza, so the meat's going to cook a little bit more. So cook it about 90% to your liking and finish it off in the oven. So let's dump the meat
What
in
the
there.
fuck is that?
Get everything all cooked up together.
Oh, God, that's that Walmart carne asada steak bullshit thing. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. This is going to be terrible. Thank God I don't have to eat it.
Break it up. And then what I'm going to do is hit it with some seasoning right now. What you do is season heavy on top, then mix it in. Alright, so first, this is a little different shape because we had to roll it out ourselves, so it's not a perfect circle. There's a little bit of...
What in the hell is that? That almost looks like a pastry dough.
Garlic olive oil. That is the base.
Who the hell doesn't go to Walmart?
Press that on.
You're telling me you don't go to Walmart at least once
I'm
every
going to
other
press all the way
week?
to the edges here. Now this is the step where I've already seasoned the meat, but this is the step where you can season this with like salt and pepper or something else.
Hand off your taxes to an expert in your neighborhood. Now, your TurboTax expert can file for you, so you don't have to miss a moment. You've got better things to do than taxes. Have a local TurboTax expert file for you.
A little bit of cheese on the bottom.
So, are we not gonna add any sauce or anything? Whatever.
Kind of like putting the ingredients in between the cheese. So this is a blend of provolone and mozzarella. If you can't find it, do the provolone circles. You can add mozzarella if you want. All right. Then literally lay out some pizza topping. Grab your mixture. Get it all over. Your hands probably are going to get a little dirty. Okay.
Dude!
So go ahead and push everything out.
Dude, you seriously are adding a
And top it
pound of
off.
toppings for this pizza. Oh, God in
I'm
heaven.
putting it all on there.
And a half a pound of cheese.
400 degrees in your oven. Between 10 and 20 minutes. Keep an eye on it. When the cheese is melting and maybe slightly golden, then you can go ahead and pull it out. I'm going to work this a little more. You don't need to watch me. So we have toppings everywhere. All right, guys, so I put a little more cheese, spread it out, and I put a little hardcore carnivore on top also, just to add a little extra flavor. And we're popping it in. This smells way better than last week, and I really liked last week. I have not tried this yet, but it's just cooling off right now. Little seasoning on top. Perfectly golden brown, crust puffed up nice. Meat looks good. So, anyway, we'll cut into this in a minute. Okay, guys, let me give you a side view of one of the slices. They look great. Look at that. Oh my goodness, everything you love about a Philly.
I am. Oh my God! No, that can't be true. Hold on. Okay, wait.
Now, little seasoning on top.
Can't be true.
Perfectly golden brown, crust puff looks good. Side view of one of the slices.
The fucking dough is either raw or it got resaturated with the cheese. It's either raw, which is par on course for Jack. Oh my God in heaven. Look, you can't do thick crust pizza in a regular stove. It doesn't get hot enough. Oh God, I swear to God, this is raw dough on the bottom here. Because up top, that's melted cheese. Under here is just fucking raw dough. Fuck my ass, sweet baby Jesus. All right, I'm going to do this on another channel too, but this is just something that pisses me the fuck off. And it has to do with every delivery driver, you know, shipped or what's the other one? Whatever the fuck the other one is, or Walmart pickup or any of this other crap. Well, here's the thought: if you're pissed off with how shittily they did your order, well, I'm gonna give this bitch some real good advice.
Lady had to order groceries from Walmart and they kept telling her that half of the items that she wanted were out of stock. She decided to go to the store to see if this was true. But when she arrived at the store, you won't believe what she discovered.
I've been super busy the past couple of days and just have not had time to get the last few minute grocery items that I need.
Really? You don't have 20 fucking minutes, you dumb cunt?
For the house. Earlier today, I decided to do a Walmart pickup order. And within the first minute of him picking up my order, I started getting notifications that such and such is...
Well, not everything pisses me off. Two girls making out makes me very happy.
Out of stock. Do you want to replace with this? Such and such is out of stock. So let's go through Walmart and see if these items are just really out of stock or if David was too lazy to find them. So the first thing was the 8-ounce toasted Ritz chips. They were out of stock, apparently. David also said that the Milo's sweet tea, the regular sweet tea, was out of stock, that I should get the zero sugar sweet tea.
Okay, you dumb Dixie Carter fucking cunt. David probably had, by the way, this was not me. David probably had about 8 orders going on at once. So sorry if you didn't take special care with yours. But do you want to know a foolproof way, a 100% foolproof way of making sure you get exactly what you want? Stop being fucking lazy, get out of your car, go into the store, and shop for yourself before we had the scamdemic. Now, I'm going to move on to an eating challenge with our favorite bearded guy.
It's cold in England out here. Yeah, you guessed it. We're back in the good old United States of America.
And by the way, I'd work for Walmart if they agreed to pay me what I wanted to be paid. They never would, so I'm probably never working for Walmart.
Well, specifically, South Carolina today, and we're at a place called Mac's Speed Shop, where they sell food, not speed, just to clarify. And we're having a bash at this, their Fat Boy Challenge. Can you say fat these days? Probably not right, I've said it now. Let's get in there. Ooh. I came to do your Fat Boy Challenge. Is that okay? Yeah. That sounds weird, but I just film myself eating stuff.
I gotta go grab a pen, but I do need you to sign a waiver.
Okay, is that in case I die or choke to death or something like that? Yeah, I get it. This is a cool waiver. Pretty standard for the most part. No help or sharing, no bathroom breaks. No dipping, that's a good one. Nobody wants to dip the bun in a drink. You must not hurl for 5 minutes after you...
Okay, let's see if I can see this. You must pay in advance to enter the challenge. Reasonable. No help or sharing. Reasonable. No bathroom breaks. Little dickish, but fine. No dipping the sandwich in the drink. Now, they will refund the money if you win the challenge. No dipping the sandwich in the drink. I don't get what's the point of that. Must not hurl for 5 minutes after your last bite.
For the most part.
If you hurl, you clean it up? Sorry, I'm not your unpaid janitor.
No help or sharing, no bathroom breaks. No dipping, that's a good one. Nobody...
Max will provide a hurling apparatus, aka a bucket, for your convenience. Before it begins, there's no excuse for you to hit anything but the bucket. Well, okay, they brought me a bucket.
Nobody wants to dip the bun in a drink. You must not hurl for 5 minutes after your last bite. If you hurl, you clean it up. Can't argue with that, can you?
So the bucket...
I'm willing to work anywhere if they pay me enough.
If you are to throw up, I need you to throw up in the bucket, because if you don't throw...
Like I said, I will work at Walmart if they meet my salary demands. They won't. So I'm not going to work there. But if by some miracle they did, okay, I'll work there.
Up in the bucket, you have to clean it up.
I promise.
Yeah, so...
I'll get it in the bucket.
Try to aim
if that happens. I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does happen,
yes.
I get it. I can see it.
Right, did they already have you sign the waiver?
Yeah, the waiver. Yeah, I did sign the waiver.
Put this down. I'm gonna go get my stopwatch.
You can finish this, right? You can finish that first, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'll be as quick as I can.
You're good, bud.
All right, I'm at a place called Mac's Speed Shop today, which is in Greenville, South Carolina, and I'm taking on the Fat Boy Challenge. How much does it cost?
$6.5.
But if you can finish it inside 1 hour, it's free.
It's free. You get a shirt, and then you get a plaque on the wall that you pay.
You do get a shirt.
Yep.
I love a winner's T-shirt. In that case, I think I'm ready. I think.
So I'm gonna start the timer in a second here. You'll have 1 hour to finish. After you finish, you have to hold everything down for 5 minutes, and then you're done.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, I'm good to go.
Go ahead.
All right.
So your end time will be 12:42.
Got it. Thank you. Got a second plate here. Right.
You see that guy in the back there? That's the best part about filming in America. People are always interested. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. We're at Mac's Speed Shop in Greenville today, doing battle with the not very sensitively named Fat Boy Challenge.
Oh, that is a little spicy.
All right, let's just skip ahead and see if he gets anywhere near it.
Figured out why they have that no dunking rule. Because the bread is the hardest bit.
Yeah, sneaky. I like that though, when it's not necessarily just the amount of food or the time that makes it hard. Not surprising.
Sandwich and all the meat, but now he's got the mac and cheese. Oh fuck!
No, that they've had what did he say? 76 losers.
The mac and cheese is nice and soft, thankfully. Ooh, yummy too.
Yeah, Alright, steady on. You're getting a little bit excited there. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you in about a week for the next episode.
That was much more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
And he won. Does this dude just have like 6 stomachs?
Ugh, I reckon that's probably done. Alright, this is Baby Eats Food, and that was the Fat Boy Challenge. Is that good?
Good.
Yeah?
5 minutes, are they?
Ruin that restaurant's profit for the day. All right.
We're clear that.
While I'm doing that, do you guys have a dessert menu?
Yes. I recommend the hot fudge brownie.
Yeah, do you agree with that?
Hot fudge brownie?
Hot fudge brownie?
I think that cobbler, but that's my opinion.
Oh, that does sound good. I'm gonna go with apple cobbler. Don't be offended.
No offense.
Ooh, shirt incoming.
All I got is kid size, but
That's perfect. I'm a tiny man. That's cool. Thank you very much, man.
Did you finish it?
I did finish it, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Everyone's so friendly out here. Americans seem to respect almost anything, apart from free healthcare.
Yeah, because we don't want our healthcare run by the DMV. All right, let's move on. All right, we got to get through it.
Isn't it great that T-Mobile's got home internet? T-Mobile home internet is all you...
So this is Crack Burgers from Elite Barbecue Smokers.
It's a messy little bad boy. Oh my God. I've seen the recipe of this version. They call it a crack burger. I understand why. It is absolutely addictively good. You need to check it out. So to start with, I'm gonna season my hamburger patties with Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning. Then I got some SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. Pat it in, flip it over. Do the same thing again. A little bit of Hidden Valley Ranch, a little bit of SPG. Roll them around, get the edges. And get the edges, you know. Got a little bit left over on the counter, you don't want to waste it. Now I got my Blackstone getting hot, so I'm gonna set this to the side while it's getting hot. We're gonna make our little special concoction on top of it. To start with, my mixing bowl here, I'm gonna add about 2 spoonfuls, which would be a little more than a 1/4 cup of some Duke's mayonnaise. I'm gonna take my seasoning I've got and put some in there, the Hidden Valley Ranch. So I've got some Kraft sharp cheddar cheese. I want to shred about 1/3 of it. Using this little shredder makes life really easy. This thing's dishwasher safe, man. I tell you what, really, truly, this here's been a good blessing for making macaroni and cheese and shredding anything. Potatoes, does it all. Pretty cool. Now my mixture here, I'm gonna add this cheese to it. I'll mix it up very well.
Does he have his thing linked? All right, I'll take a look at this because I want his shredder.
Be kind of a cheese heavy. I just want to add that mayonnaise to it, get a little bit of flavor and a binder to it. Another little bit of my Hidden Valley Ranch. This is enough for 2 hamburger patties. If you're doing a family, you might want to do more than this. Now I got some bacon, some crumbled bacon. You can make your own on the Blackstone. We didn't have none, so we use this here that I did have. Give me about a good fist size. Now I'm gonna take my buns I've got right here, drop them out. I've got some butter here. I warmed up. I'm gonna grab it and brush it on. So everything's ready. Let's go put it on Blackstone. Let's get it cooking. Come on. All right, so we got the grill hot. Let's put our burgers on. Got 2 sides here. Both these burners are running. That way I can move them side to side without losing temperature. All right, we got them seared on that side good, I think. Let's flip them this side. All right. Got that. I'll add some onions here to it. My burgers right here. Add them right here on the cool side. This side. Right over here on this side. Saute my onions just a little bit. All right, I'm moving this side. So I'm gonna pull them to the other side. Check on them, don't want them to burn. See, it's good.
Because two reasons. One, women are ruled by emotions, not logic. And two, women do not have to have the same social responsibilities that men have. Well, excuse me for being boring for 2 minutes. I was ordering this goddamn cheese grater because it looked cool.
Don't. Them onions are sauteed. I'm pulling them over here to the edge. There's cooler out. They're gonna stop cooking in a minute. I'm gonna flip these burgers around now. The back like cooking a little bit hotter.
Yet I still make my decisions based on logic.
All right, I'm gonna pull these over here a little closer to the heat.
That guy, you need to get down buns over to a hotter portion of the grill, buddy.
Normally what I like to do when I see the blood getting pushed out pretty good, flip them over.
All right, hold on. I need to see the burger.
Push the juices back up to the other side of the meat. Does it all. Pretty cool. Now my mixture, we didn't have none, so we brush it on. Got two sides here. Both these burners are running. That way I can move them side to side without losing temperature.
Dude, you're using
all right, we got them seared on that side good, I think. Let's flip them this side.
My ass with a ball of grass.
All right. Got that. I'll add some onions here to it.
Oh, God. Oh, no, no, no. God damn it, all the hell.
My burgers right here. Add them right here on the cool side. This side. Right over here on this side. Saute my onions just a little bit. All right, I'm moving this side. So I'm pulling to the other side.
God, how you can always tell they're a pre-made frozen patty? They brown like this.
You check on them, don't want them to burn. See, it's good though. Them onions are sauteed. I'm pulling them over here to the edge. There's cooler out. They're gonna stop cooking in a minute. I'm gonna flip these burgers around now. The back like cooking a little bit hotter.
They haven't cooked!
All right, I'm gonna pull these over here a little closer to the heat. Normally what I like to do when I see the blood getting pushed out pretty good, flip them over. Push the juices back up to the other side of the meat. Starting to brown on me out there. Starting to kind of brown up some there.
These burgers, that's not brown. That's not
Put them
brown.
over.
That's not. Oh.
See it starting to push back this way now?
Put some cheese on it, end it for us.
My patty's right here on this side. I'm gonna turn this burner here off. I'm gonna turn all of them off. Pull it back over here. I'm gonna add a little bit of my onions to the mixture. Sauteed onions to it. Spoonful of my cheese to this one. Spoonful of cheese to this one.
Okay, I love cheese, but your cheese thing is bigger than the fucking burger.
I want basically to let it melt. I know it's a lot of cheese, but when I squish it down and run outside, it'll be good. It's just starting to melt good. That's what we're looking for right there. So now I'm gonna take this, pour this back over here a second so my camera's in view. Right there on top of it. Right on top of that. Over. Now I'm gonna take these, go inside, eat them up.
You know what? I'm just fucking done with this shit. I'm just fucking done with it. All right. Next one is that wasn't anything. Turkey Club. Turkey Club.
Turkey Club does exist. 3 house-made pieces of toast get a healthy amount of mayo.
Alright.
House roasted and sliced turkey. On goes the middle slice of toast. A little more mayo never hurt anyone. Thick tomato slices, applewood smoked bacon, lettuce, and on goes that top piece of toast. I've always been a huge fan of Turkey Clubs, and I'm telling you, this one needs to be on your Devour list. Chef Mark serves it with his house-made potato chips and pickles.
What the fuck?
Don't mind if I do.
Cheers. Whatever. All right. We're gonna go with Gambit. Yeah, a little bit of his gumbo.
What is this here you're cooking?
It's called food, Gambit. Normal Christmas food.
This need a little Gambit magic.
If you want to keep that hand, stay away.
Gambit's just trying to help.
Who let Jean cook?
Yeah, who the hell let Jean Grey cook?
Honestly, let Gambit do his thing. Anyway, in issue 5 of the Rogue and Gambit miniseries from 2023, the comic includes a recipe for Gambit's gumbo at the end. Now, I have never made gumbo before, and to be honest, I don't think I've ever tried gumbo before. But I like to think I am a pretty decent cook, and while I'll try to stick as close to the recipe as possible, there are some parts I'll do differently. For example, there is zero mention of browning the chicken and sausage, which I assume was to keep the recipe 2 pages long. We'll definitely be doing that. There's also cayenne, even though it's not listed in the ingredients. Anyway, the night before we have some prep to do. A half a pound of boneless, skinless chicken thighs cut.
I'm in his boat. I've never made gumbo. I've made a couple of jambalayas, but I've never made a gumbo.
Down into 1-inch chunks and rubbed with Cajun spice. Also a pound of raw peeled shrimp, similarly rubbed with the same blend. We'll let those sit in the fridge overnight. The next day, we'll prepare our 3 vegetables by chopping up onions, celery, and bell peppers. These 3 combine to make what is known in Cajun and Louisiana Creole cuisine as the Holy Trinity. You know, like Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. Then we have a pound of smoked andouille sausage, which we'll slice into smaller pieces before frying up. We'll follow that out with our chicken from the night before using the fat from the sausage, making sure both meats brown. The next part is probably the hardest one for me, making a roux out of 1 cup of vegetable oil and 1 cup of all-purpose flour in a Dutch oven. I've made roux in the past before using butter for sauces like a bechamel, but have never done it this way before. I think I ended up stirring on medium heat for maybe more than 40 minutes. To be honest, I'm not super happy with how my roux turned out. I think I was too afraid of burning it that I didn't let it get as dark as it should have. Baking the flour in the oven is apparently another way you can prepare the roux ahead of time, which I will likely try the next time I attempt this. But this recipe stresses that I should stand at the stove and stir like Gambit's ancestors intended, so that's what I did. Once your roux is good to go, and hopefully better than mine, add in your Holy Trinity and stir for a couple of minutes. It should
nothing wrong here.
Get pretty fragrant. With the Trinity well sweated, next add in your sausage, salt, cayenne, and apparently bay leaves. I ended up adding the leaves later on when the liquids are present.
Just Just make sure you take the bay leaves out. They're toxic.
When a shopping cart smashed my headlight.
God damn it.
Mine, add in your Holy Trinity and stir for a couple of minutes. It should get pretty fragrant. With the Trinity well sweated, next add in your sausage, salt, cayenne, and apparently bay leaves. I ended up adding the leaves later on when the liquids are present. As for the cayenne, I wasn't sure how much to use, but it's probably more than I did because I like my food to have a little heat. Next, we're adding in 6 cups of chicken stock. I ended up using a generous serving of Better Than Bouillon because it's what I always have on hand, and I honestly think it's just better in my opinion. It's at this part that I added the bay leaves. Okay, so it's important you make sure you stir the pot well at this point because you want the roux to mix well with the stock and not leave any floury lumps behind. It should get easier as the pot heats back up. Bring it to a boil, then reduce to a simmer, and leave it uncovered for about an hour or so. Go read a comic book or something while you wait, or do the dishes. After the hour is up, we're adding in our chicken and any of its juices to the pot before covering it and simmering for another 2 hours. Towards the end of the simmer, chop up some parsley and green onions for garnishing at the end. Once 2 hours is done, skim off any fat that rises to the surface. It might be a little hard to distinguish between what is fat and what isn't if you're not used to doing it. Look for these shiny bits. With most of the fat skimmed, we'll stir in 1 tablespoon of gumbo filet powder. Now, if you're like me and did not know about it before, it is a herb seasoning made from dried and ground up leaves of the sassafras tree. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The purpose of this powder is to help thicken the gumbo when other thickeners such as okra are not available, which is really interesting. The recipe then calls for the shrimp to be added at this point before simmering for an additional 15 to 20 minutes. I ended up simmering for less than 10 because shrimp cooks super fast anyways, and honestly I was hungry at this point. And we're about done. Turn off the heat and add in your chopped parsley and green onions. Don't forget to remove the bay leaves. There were 6 of them. I had mine with white rice because I'm Asian and always have white rice on hand.
Isn't gumbo served with rice? Isn't that the thing?
And honestly, it was pretty good, and I look forward to trying out some other gumbo recipes in the future. In conclusion, Jean was on some serious Karen energy when she stopped.
Jesus Christ! Okay, the X-Men are mutants. I get this. But Gambit should have been in the hospital. He just had a pot of boiling water on his head. He should be screaming in agony.
Gambit from cooking. Let the man do what he wants.
Still know nothing about cooking no Christmas dinner.
So Jean Grey just scolds Gambit and she acts like it's nothing. Jesus fucking tap dancing Christ.
Really want to jump into this, and so I'm just gonna grab this one right here. Look at that. What do y'all think? Big bite or little bite? I'm gonna take a bite.
Oh, now we go to everyone's favorite Mexican uncle, Arnie. And he's going to take us to meet carnita, or chicharrones. Chicharrones. Sorry.
Man, in this video, we're cooking chicharrones. And the first 2 things you need to know about this recipe is to use a skin-on pork belly. This will give you that delicious, crunchy bite that's packed with flavor and tenderness when you cook it just right. Now, there's a specific process to follow for this recipe, and I'm going to walk you through all the details step by step. First, we're going to prep.
All right. Pork belly is one of the few things that's considered exotic I can get.
And boil our pork belly, and then we're gonna dry it off and prep our caso. That means a big old pot for deep frying. Which brings me to the second point. Use a bigger caso than you think.
Fuck, do I gotta piss? All right, I'll be right back. I gotta whiz. All right, we're back. Okay.
You need. You see, in this video, we're cooking these chicharrones the traditional way, which is the deep fry method. And at times, it
Which is the, okay, traditional way, probably best way, but pain in the ass way.
can have a little bit of snack, crackle, and pop throughout. So again, be safe.
Because it involves lard. And while I will say the best fries I've ever cooked were from lard, melting down lard and frying it in them. Oh God, the cleanup is a pain in the ass.
And preferably use a bigger casserole. Now for a twist on this recipe, you can also grill pork belly chicharrones, which is a recipe that I have in my cookbook, Arnitex. Over 100 recipes for Mexican-American cooking and Texas-style barbecue. You can get my cookbook wherever books are sold or by clicking the link in my description of this video. But today, we're deep frying, so vámonos! This is gonna be delicious after it's fried, I guarantee you that. Super, super good. Oh man, look at that. Just a nice piece of meat there. Now, this particular half of the pork belly, and it's nice and fat on this side, as you can see. Over here, it's really has another big lump of meat here. This side over here is super thin. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim this so they're not too long. I'm gonna cut it.
Alright, so that looks like a normal pork belly. Okay, cool.
Right about here, because this side is pretty thin. I want them to be more or less all the same size. So I'm gonna cut this end off here. This will also make a nice chicharron anyway. This has a lot more fat than meat, so this is gonna give us a little extra flavor in our pot there. And I'm gonna cut them about the thickness of the knife. That's about an inch and a quarter maybe, more or less. So we're gonna go right here from the meat side. You can cut them thinner, you can cut them thicker if you like. It's really, personal preference. And I'm gonna change my mind and cut it from the fat side. Looks like that'll be a little bit easier. And we're gonna do about an inch and a quarter, more or less. They are a little easier to slice when they're super cold. I've had this one out for about 30 minutes out on the kitchen counter. It'll cook a little quicker now that it's not super ice cold. All right, we got one more here. We're gonna slice it right down the middle. If they're super thin, a lot of times the meat will cook way too soon before the skin is actually toasty and crunchy. So you wanna make them at least about an inch thick, somewhere around there. Should be just about right. Again, this side of the pork belly has a lot more fat than usual. So if you have the opportunity, if you're gonna go buy one, try to find one that has...
Well, like you said, some of them slice them way too thin, some of them make them way too small. Hell, there's a grocery store that I know that slices their pork belly like it's bacon. Now, yes, pork belly does become bacon, but it's before it's sliced.
Has a lot more meat, like this side of it here. Some of them, it just kind of depends on the hog, and how it was butchered. But this one has a lot of meat on this side, and the other half doesn't have quite as much. So you want to try and find some that is a little more consistent all the way across. This one has a beautiful big fat piece of meat here, but then it's fat on this side and fat over here. So we're gonna throw them all in there. The fat will melt and render a lot of it, so we're not gonna worry about it too much. Here's the other half of the pork belly. I'm gonna cut this one right in half. We're gonna make some little shorter chicharrones right here. And you can see the meat runs this way here, and it runs this way the other way too. So I don't know that it really matters how you slice it, but I'm gonna slice these right down this way. And what did Arnitex always say? A sharp knife makes the job a lot easier, right?
Yeah, the most dangerous thing in a kitchen is a dull knife. Even that dipshit corncob motherfucker knows that.
So make sure you have some really sharp knives when you're doing stuff like this. Because these are shorter, I'm gonna make them a little bit wider, and I'm gonna trim this edge off right here. I'm gonna toss in a quartered onion and a bulb of garlic. They're totally optional, but that does add some great flavor to the meat. First thing I'm gonna do is dump about 3 tablespoons of OG here. So that's a little salt, pepper, and garlic. We're gonna go ahead and drop.
Well, next time I'm at an Asian market, I'll take a look at their pork belly.
Drop these in here, bring the temperature up a little bit slow, not too fast. We also want to drop the garlic in here. That's the whole garlic bulb. And there's 3 of the onions. Here's the last quarter, so we've got those in there. Let's get these gloves off. I'm gonna crank up the heat a little bit. Whoop, whoop. I'm gonna stir these up a little just to make sure they're not sticking on the bottom. while the temperature comes up. Now, you don't have to add onions and garlic or seasoning. You can just boil it, dump the water, and fry it. I like to add a little salt, pepper, and garlic in there. The salt also takes a little bit of that moisture into the meat and adds a lot of flavor. We'll be boiling here in just a little bit. So as the water comes up to temp with the pork belly, we're gonna start to see the impurities come out. These are nothing really bad, but I just simply like to remove the impurities for a better flavor, look, and finish of the chicharrones. I think a sieve works pretty good. You're not gonna get 100% of it, but you'll get almost all of it, and that's really good enough. Now, some of our seasoning might be stuck to these impurities, so I'm gonna add a little bit more once we're done doing this and it starts to boil. And once again, you don't have to season at this stage, but I like to do it because it really does add a lot of flavor to the meat and does not affect the skin at all. We're starting to boil, so I'm gonna get the last of these little bit of impurities that I can out of here. For that, I'm using a serving spoon just to get the last little bit of foam that's in here, as much as I can. You're not gonna get 100% of it, so just get as much as you can and don't worry about it. All right, we're starting to boil now, boys and girls. Time to set our timer for 25 minutes, so we're done with that.
I am curious to see how this ends up because boiling meat in my book is horrendous.
Half a teaspoon went back in there, and we're gonna stir that up a little bit, make sure it gets all mixed up. And we're just gonna kind of let it simmer there. It's not a hard boil, it's more like a fast simmer, if you want to call it that. It's been 25 minutes, I just turned off my burner. You want to make sure, because sometimes they tend to float.
Actually, one of the Asian markets I visit semi-regularly, yeah, they got live fish too. Sorry, guys.
And just kind of stay in the same spot on top. So you want to kind of get your little spoon or whatever you're using to stir and kind of flip them over every once in a while. Make sure you move them around a little bit. That's what I've been doing during the last 25 minutes, about every 6 or 8 minutes or so, just to kind of keep them all even. By the way, this pork broth here is super, super good. I like to save some in mason jars and use it later as a broth for cooking. You can use it in stews, you can use it in your rice, you can use it in a lot of things. Now, if you're a competition cook, nah, I better not tell y'all. Okay, I will. If you're a competition cook, you can use that broth to inject your ribs, your pork butt, and then add your other stuff that you normally do in competition. But that's an amazing, delicious pork flavor. All right, I'm gonna get them in here first just to get them out. And then we're gonna arrange them and pat dry them a little bit. Alrighty. Now, if you see any little red specks in there, one thing I did, I dropped 2 teaspoons of chile piquin powder in there. Got a little bite in here. You guys know me, man. I gotta have a little kick in everything I eat. You know, you can use this broth when you make your tamal masa. You can use it for anything you do with corn masa. It works out really, really good. Adds an amazing flavor. We're gonna save a couple of jars for us. That's pretty much all that I need for the next few months, probably. If you wanna make corn tortillas, put this water in your masa. Thank me later. All right, here we go. We got them all. Let me arrange them over here. Start getting them
Well, wouldn't you just strain the fucker?
dry. Now that the pork belly has been removed from the boiling pot, you're gonna wanna let that water cool off a little bit, discard the water, and clean the pot in preparation for deep frying. A good time to do all of this is while your pork belly is drying out on some paper towels. You want them pretty dry so they don't go snack, crackle, pop when you put them in the oil in a little while. You wanna make sure you dry off the skin too, much as possible. Again, like I said, it won't be 100%, but you wanna get as much of that moisture off of the pork belly as you can. We got pretty much all of them dried up a little bit. Let's get a couple of paper towels and just kind of lay them up here too. And we'll lay these here so they can get dry also. One of the most asked questions while researching this recipe was, what about the oil for frying? What type should I use? It's traditional, and I recommend using manteca, aka 100% pure pork lard. We're using about 4 whole quarts.
And like I said, the best fries I ever made were made in lard. But it is a massive pain in the ass.
Here for the fry. You might need about 6 to 8 quarts if you're frying more pork belly than I am on this video. Also, 2 of the quarts were reused from a previous chicharron cook I did, hence the slightly browner color once this is all melted down. And I'm looking for about 275-ish We're right there, 284, 286. That's right where I want to be. You can run about 300, you can run 250. Anytime you cook outside, it's eyeball. You kind of got to eyeball the meat that's in the oil or on the grill or on the griddle, depending on what you're cooking on, right? Just pay attention. If it's cooking and boiling too fast, you want to slow it down a little bit. For our fat to render properly and to get that chicharron to really crunch up, you got to get the meat cooked, you got to get the fat rendered. But if you get too hot, then the meat overcooks and dries out really bad. And by the time you get the skin to pop for you, then the meat's just like, you know, dried, not even beef jerky, drier than beef jerky. We don't want that today. So let's get the pork belly on, and we want to double check, make sure these are pretty dry when we drop them in there. You're going to hear a little bit of popping because of the water, so you don't really want the oil too hot when you drop it in there. You definitely don't want to be at 300 plus when you're dropping these in there if they have a little bit of water, because that water is going to go snack, crackle, pop. And be very careful. You don't want to get it into your eyes. You can hear that popping right now. So I try not to look down. And this is the last properly, and to get that chicharron to really crunch up, you got to get the meat cooked, you got to get the fat rendered. But if you get too hot, then the meat overcooks and dries out really bad. And by the time you get the skin to pop for you, then the meat's just like, you know, dried, not even beef jerky, drier than beef jerky. We don't want that today. So let's get the pork belly on, and we want to double check, make sure these are pretty dry when we drop them in there. You're going to hear a little bit of popping because of the water, so you don't really want the oil too hot when you drop it in there. You definitely don't want to be at 300 plus when you're dropping these in there if they have a little bit of water, because that water is going to go snack, crackle, pop. And be very careful. You don't want to get it into your eyes. You can hear that popping right now. So I try not to look down. And this is the last piece going in. All right, so once you got them all in there, about every 10 minutes or so, 15, you want to come in and kind of move them around, flip them over a little bit. You want to make sure they don't stick to the bottom, and you want even cooking as well. So see how they're simmering real nice and even? That's about 275 degrees, 280 when we put them in there. It's going to come down a little bit, probably going to be about 240, 230. We'll even check that for now to make sure, but it will bounce back in a little bit. Yeah, see, we're at 244, 246. That's because the meat was colder than the oil. But it'll come back to 275-ish here in about 15 minutes. So don't want to turn the heat up, just let it come up on its own, let it get up to temperature, and just every once in a while you want to give these a little stir, like I said. Ideally, for an excellent finish, you want to be frying around 250 to 275 degrees. I was just a bit under, so I cranked up the heat to get to where I needed to be. Before we do, let's give it a little stir. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of eyesight, eyeballing. Whoa. Like I said, you got to stir it and be very careful. We're not running a really hot boil. We're just kind of simmering it real carefully here at about 250 degrees, as y'all saw with the thermometer.
You're sure it's fucked, bro.
Every once in a while, you're going to get one of those big old pops. There's a lot of fat hanging out in there. It might have had a little bit of water in between the fat that stayed stuck. And so just be careful. If you look here closely, you can see they're starting to get a little bit of color, but it's not anywhere close to the golden brown color that we want it to be. It's going to be another 30 minutes at least, in my opinion. So as I said earlier, you kind of have to eyeball it, make sure that you know where you're at. We want to get them to cook to a nice...
All right, I got to get another beer.
golden brown. Then we're going to take them out and raise the temperature of the oil and drop them in a little at a time so we can get them to puff up. Every once in a while, you may want to flip one over individually. If it looks like it's not flipping over or cooking evenly on both sides, you can just take your tongs, do this. Yeah, and the other thing is, you know, you might want to wear an apron because they're wearing a shirt that bit the dust. All right, we'll be back in 20 minutes. We hit the 45-minute mark. Remember what I said, you want to eyeball it, you kind of want to look at it. It's nowhere near yet, so I set another timer for 30 minutes. You can tell that we've got a little ways to go. It's starting to look real pretty and golden, you can see that. but we're not quite there yet. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. Look at that beautiful chicharron. We're not quite 100% chicharron yet, but we're getting there. I just wanted to show you guys that. We're fixing to take these out. We're gonna let them drip a little bit, and we're gonna crank the heat up on the oil. We've been running at 250-ish, 255. So we're gonna take these out, crank up the oil to about 400 degrees, drain as much oil as you can. And we're gonna just let these kind of hang out over here on the little tray while our oil gets a little bit hotter, actually a lot hotter.
Hold up, Alana in Texas just placed the dreamiest protein coffee order. She picked Snickerdoodle, Original,
And there you have it, friends. We've got them all out. I'm gonna crank up the heat to 350 degrees. That's right around the smoke point of lard. I think it can go a little bit higher than that. You wanna be right at the edge of the smoke point when you drop them back in here. Stay tuned, because it's fixing to get really exciting. We're gonna hear a whole lot of popping going on. We are sitting at 378 degrees. I don't know if the camera picks that up, but that's perfect for me. So let's go ahead and drop some of these chicharrones in there. And we gotta watch them like a hawk, because it's only about 5 minutes, and some of them sometimes will pop. So you wanna stir them a little bit. We want them to puff. That's what we're looking for right now. Ooh, they're coming. We set our timer for 5 minutes. It's about 5-6 minutes. Sometimes it just kind of really depends on the actual pork belly. Some get done a minute or two later, some get done a minute or two earlier. All right, I like to take my big spatula and kind of push them down under the oil, make sure that they get all the heat on the whole skin so that it pops nice and even. And they don't always come out exactly perfect, but you know, you want a nice puff in there. You can see here where I held that one down. See how it puffed up really nice there? All right, let's push a couple of the other one down for a few seconds. We're gonna stir them around a little bit. Ooh, it's smoking. I'm gonna turn the heat.
All right, I'm just gonna skip to the end of this
because I really want to jump into this. And so I'm just gonna grab this one right here.
Look fucking great.
That's the biggest one. I'm hungry. Can you tell? Look at that. That's a big one, man. What do y'all think? Big bite or little bite? I'm gonna take a bite. Oh man.
All right, one last video for tonight. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I've never actually done this chef before. Chef Zappy.
Smasher meal. Great burger, even greater deal.
I don't fucking know.
A typical day in Lux Bites is extremely busy. We have phones, we have tablets that connect the kitchen to the drivers. So fast, high-speed internet is crucial in this kitchen.
Fruit business, you dumb bitch.
This is the best way to make restaurant-style pizza at home. I'm gonna show you the techniques.
This one didn't look like it had raw dough.
The ingredients and everything I'm using, you probably already have at home in your hands. An oven. If you don't have an oven, well, you can make pizza soup from your stovetop. Soup pizza. The classic recipe.
Actually, pizza soup is a legitimate recipe. I don't know why it became that way, but fuck it, it did.
It's my no-knead recipe, and this makes amazing pizza, specifically like a pan pizza, Sicilian pizza, Roma pizza. There's a ton of names for it. 1,000 grams of all-purpose flour. I'm doing the same recipe as my no-knead bread recipe. It's 3 ingredients, it's simple to do. The only difference here is I'm just doubling it. So if you haven't checked out that video, I'll leave a link in the description to check it out. Instant yeast. So my normal recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoons. So if I'm just doubling it, I'm gonna do 3. 2 and 3 of instant yeast. 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. And I'm just gonna get that incorporated first before I add the water. I want about an 80% hydration on this dough. So we're gonna do 800 grams of water. Take this and just incorporate it and mix it up. Doesn't take long, comes together pretty quickly. Scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, get that flour incorporated. The only difference I'm gonna do here is I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil because we are making kind of like focaccia style. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of olive oil in this and just enough to kind of like coat the top of it. What the olive oil is gonna do is it's also gonna bring the hydration slightly up, making it a wetter dough. Cover in plastic wrap, leave on my counter for about 4 hours. And when we come back, we'll have a perfectly risen dough that we're ready to use for pizza. 4 hours later, check this out. Look at this. Very much like my 3-ingredient no-knead recipe, this is also just gassed up amazingly. Again, olive oil, we wanna be liberal, we wanna be generous, because we basically want this dough to kind of fry, and then the top is like gonna poof up and be equally as golden, but then the middle is gonna be super soft. This is the best pizza ever. And you want to be delicate again because we don't want to mess up those air bubbles. We want to keep as much air in that dough as possible, not try to degas it as much. And I'm just scraping down the sides slowly.
Maybe I'm gonna have to try this guy's pizza recipe. I still like mine, but I think this might be fun.
We got all that good olive oil in there too that we put. Now this is wet and it's a little bit tricky to work with, but you just have to have delicate hands. We're kind of just scooping underneath on the bottom and just lightly stretching and pulling up. Now for me and the size of my pan, this is a perfect measurement. I do have a small trick because not everybody has these.
Okay, I don't know if I could do the lightly pull. I'm pretty violent with my dough.
Full sheet size pan.
I'll just pound it into submission. And I mean that literally. I will actually punch or slam my fist down on the dough.
At home. There is a way to get an exact measurement of what dough you need to the correct pan size that you have. You do have to measure your pan in centimeters. That's the only thing. If you do it by inches, it's not gonna work. For example, if you have a pan that's 20 centimeters by 30 centimeters, 20 times 30 is 600. All you have to do is divide it by 2. So you need 300 grams of dough. So then you're gonna have to do some backwards math again on how much flour you need and then 80% in water. But if you follow that, it'll give you a perfect size for your pan. So this, it might seem a little bit small right now, and that's okay. You're gonna work it, but you're not gonna force it because we are going to kind of just get it to where we think so, where it's kind of uniform and even. And then we're gonna let this rest again. So yes, I mean, the dough itself is minimal work, but there is a lot of like resting periods and sleepy times. So we're gonna do that. That's ready. So we're gonna get another pan and I'm gonna cover this for about another 30 minutes. The pan on the top is gonna help it proof and keep it a little bit warm. You can cover it with like a tea towel or a damp towel, but I find the pan is just the easiest to clean. When we come back in 30 minutes, it's gonna be a lot more proof and we'll do our final work and stick it in the oven. While our dough is resting, we are going to prep the ingredients, the toppings, the sauce first and foremost. So let's make the sauce first. Just 1 can. These are San Marzano tomatoes. So we're gonna do, interesting. That just sits on there. These are like, I get them like plump and whole. They're skin off, but they're in the puree because I like to blend it down myself. The tomatoes is the first thing we need. And then I'm gonna do about a pinch of salt. I'm gonna put black pepper as well, the same amount as
pre-ground.
I did with salt. And then I'm gonna do oregano, about the same amount as I did salt and pepper as well. The last thing in this sauce recipe is a couple glugs of olive oil. I'll say maybe like 2 tablespoons.
Where's your balsamic vinegar?
I get my immersion blender out, blend this out nice and smooth. And I can't stress this enough. Pizza sauce, you're not supposed to cook it. If you're cooking your pizza sauce, we can't be friends.
Well then, fuck, I guess we're never gonna be friends. And that gives me a perfect exit strategy for this live stream. I slow cook my pizza sauce. I think it blends the flavors better together. If you disagree with that, well, then you're a mustache-wearing jackass. All right, so that was the stream for today. Good night, everybody.